Hi everyone, my name is Mackenzie Adams and I'm going to show you how to make homemade Arizona. Arizona is tea and lemonade, and you can normally get it in a can or a jug like orange juice or grape juice. You can get that at Quick Trip, Marketplace, Walmart, Target, wherever your heart desires. So we have a homemade recipe that my dad's grandpa taught him, and now my dad has taught me how to make it. And basically we have our supplies that we use, but other people can do it differently. So we use a gallon pitcher, a cup of granulated sugar, we have our measuring cup there, we need some water, and then we have a small pan that we use, the smaller the better. Then you have a wooden spoon to mix things with, and wooden spoon is probably better than a metal spoon because wood is an insulator and metal is a conductor. Pretty common sense and straightforward. Then we have iced tea packets. And we need 5 to make this, but we have Lipton tea. It doesn't really matter what brand. And also varying with the brands is the flavor and preference that comes with the lemonade. So it doesn't really matter what brand you have as long as it's a frozen concentrate. These frozen concentrates are lemonade, obviously, because it's tea and lemonade. So it doesn't matter if it's pink lemonade or yellow lemonade, it just matters that it's a frozen concentrate. It doesn't matter what brand, it's just based off of preference and stuff. This is a Great Value pink lemonade, and this is an Old Orchard yellow lemonade. Step 1, wash your hands. It's always a good thing to wash your hands before you handle any kind of food or cooking of any sorts. So I'm going to wash my hands quick. You should wash your hands for about 20 seconds. Because then you won't spread germs and people will be happy as long as they're not sick. So. Step 3, we bring our small pan full of water and we put it on the smallest burner because the small pan and the pan surface correspond to the small burner. When we put it on the small burner, we make sure that it's head up till about 6 or 7, and then we bring the water to a boil. Meanwhile, while our water is still being brought up to a boil, we start our step 4 process. Our step 4 process includes the frozen concentrate and the pitcher. So we open up our pitcher and then we open up our frozen lemonade concentrate and we dump the contents out. This one, it has a peel around top, and then we pop the lid off. And then we dump it in the container. When it's done being dumped in the container, we normally will need to add water at the end, so we normally just rinse this out and then dump it in the pitcher. Now that this is filled with water, we will dump it in the pitcher as it will rinse out all the leftover flavored lemonade that was left in the container. So we just finished step 4, and we'll put the lemonade in the pitcher aside. We will start step 5 now. Step 5, we have a cup full of sugar that we get from the bag. This sugar will get dissolved in the boiling water. So once you get your sugar out, get about a cupful of sugar. As you can see, we have our sugar. And then we'll pour it slowly into the boiling water, and we'll stir it until it dissolves. As you can see, the water started to boil. Step 6. This is the step that we dissolve the cupful of sugar into the boiling water. But before we do this, we will turn down the burner from 6 to 7 to about 4 to 5. So you have your container of tea bags, and you open it up and take your 5 tea bags out. Then you start opening them one by one, and they have the lift here tab. And then you take off the little tab. It's kind of a pop-out deal. And then you open it up. You repeat this step the other 4 times, and then you tie them all together. So once you have your 5 tea bags opened and tied together, you put them in the pan, and then you start a timer for 5 minutes. And then you put them in, and you start making sure they're all the way wet. I just push them down with the spoon and make sure that they're submerged in water. Then you let that happen and brew for about 5 minutes, and then the timer will go off. The timer just went off, and the tea bags are still brewing. We're going to take them off the stove, and then we're going to mix it with the lemonade. Next step is when you mix the tea that we just brewed in with the pitcher of lemonade that we had set aside. We normally do this next to a sink because it can get a little bit messy. So you start by moving your tea bags into the pitcher, and try not to drip them everywhere because it can get a little sticky sometimes. So you have your tea dripping into your lemonade, and you separate the tea bags one by one usually. And then this is where your spoon comes into effect again. You start by squeezing out all the juices and the tea out of the tea bag. And then you repeat this for all of the tea bags. You still have your pan of tea on the stove that's cooling off a little bit. So you'll start by pouring that in the pitcher really, really carefully so then you don't spill hot tea all over and make a mess. Now that that step is done, we will move on to the next step, and that step is filling up the whole pitcher up till about the 4 quarts or 1 gallon line. Make sure that you mix it up. And then I have a glass of ice. This has been chilled for 3 hours. Then you pour and enjoy. Thanks for watching.